Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the newest edition of the Quarantine Concert Series. We're back. I'm your host, Kabir Segal, and we're here with you every night, 10 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 p.m. on the West Coast. And you can count on us, just like taxes and the sun coming up and the moon coming up. We're with you every single day. So, just as the seasons change, we're here for you. All right, bringing you live music. And we really started this in earnest. I want to tell you what we're doing for all you people tuning in for the first time. Why are we doing this? We're suffering through an international emergency, and all the gigs have been canceled. They've been removed. A lot of people have lost their ways of life. A lot of musicians who rely on gigs, they're not able to tour because all the gigs are gone. So what do? We started this concert series in earnest. It's not just the artists, it's a lot of people connected to live events. It's the producers, engineers, promoters. There's a whole ecosystem of people who are involved with live events. I saw one estimate the other day that it's going to be a $9 billion impact, $9 billion loss to the live event space. So the creative economy, which is a big part of the overall economy, it's having a negative impact. So we created the concert series to turn the spotlight back on the artists, because the artists share their joy and mirth and beauty with us throughout the year. We wanted to put the attention back where it belongs, on supporting artists and supporting great virtuosos and people with incredible talent. So that's what this project's all about and why we started it. All right, and where can you find us online? Well, before I get to that, I want to thank our partner, All About Jazz. They're an incredible resource, the most comprehensive jazz resource on earth, started by Michael Ritchie in 1995. So if you're an artist, go there and create an artist page, and you may have to just claim your page because there are a lot of profiles are in that database. And if you're a patron, go make a donation, support these great jazz websites like All About Jazz, because you're doing incredible work, and we need people in our community to be a leading light and turn the spotlight again back on the artists who shine with us. So that's our partner. Where can you find us online? You can find us everywhere. We are on the Facebook. We've been there for a while. We're on the Twitter. We're on the very, very delicious Instagram cracker. Goes very nice with marshmallows. And LinkedIn. So a lot of people have lost their jobs, unfortunately. So if you're looking for a job and you're in the middle of your job search on LinkedIn, this is okay. You can enjoy a few moments of music, and then you can get back to your job search. But take this moment to relax and be with us and be in the moment, because we're just trying to make you feel at home when you're at home. All right, so that's where you can find us. Also on the YouTube. The internet is made up of a bunch of tubes, so I hear. So subscribe on all these platforms, and you'll be notified. You'll be the first to know when we are in vivo, live. Yeah, there's fireworks and stuff happening. That's really cool. All right, if you're an artist who wants to get on the show, hit me up on the Facebook and hit me up on the Instagram. And there's a waiting list of about 60 artists. I know a lot of my friends have reached out wanting to get on the show. I appreciate all the interest. We had no idea there was going to be such demand, both on artists wanting to get on the show and also the viewership, which is now 40, 50, 60,000 views per episode. We're really astonished with the support, and our partners with LinkedIn and Facebook for giving us all the love on these broadcasts. So that's what's going on. I want to do something unusual at the front of this broadcast. I want to thank Sandra and Camilo, the tech team who work on all the shows. And I just want to say that the technology is not in their hands. So oftentimes it's the artist. I'm not blaming the artist, but it's the artist that has their own setup. So we're trying to do the best we can, and we're trying to make the sound consistent. But as we're all living under quarantine, it's hard to get like specific technology to the artist. So we're all, trying to get by and make it sound as good as we can. And a big shout out to them at the front of the show for all the work they've done to make these broadcasts special and sounding Great. But more about them later, and stay tuned because you'll be hearing about their dogs later. We have an update on their dogs. Okay. So tonight, now the fun part of the show, we get to present to you the incredible artist who's on this record. I learned about her last year. Incredible singer, artist, and a virtuoso. She's she's a lady of the world, having lived in many places, and she is currently, I believe, in New York. So please welcome to the show the great Jessica Medina. Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
Muy bien, ¿cómo está?
How is everyone? So happy
Good,
to be
good, good. I'm going
here.
to practice my Spanish.
Yes, or your French.
Yes, bien sûr, je parle français, oui, oui. I want to entertain people, not assault their ears with my Spanish. So we'll keep it to maybe English for now. Tell me first, how has the pandemic affected you? What have you had to go through because of this current situation?
Yes, I'm a mother of two kids. I have a 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. And first and foremost, the way that it first affected me was now having to take on the role of homeschooling, of a teacher as well. You know, as parents, we often take on that role. But now having to walk my children through Google Classroom and doing like Zoom meetings or Flipgrid or whatever it is. So now my time that I would normally dedicate to doing work as a teaching artist in the schools that I work in as well as composing and working on new music, has been drastically diminished. The work that I do locally as well, usually I play here in New York every Tuesday. I do a jazz night in Long Island. And that has been canceled as well. I was actually lucky. We had a show in Joe's Pub on March 7th, and with two other singers, Renee Ghost and Maelka Prado. And it was celebrating Women's Day. And we were actually lucky because the mayor had announced on that same day, you know, the state of emergency for New York City. So we were lucky that we were able to still have our show that day. And it was a sold out show, amazing time. But after that, everything kept falling through, you know, the conferences that I was looking forward to. I'm working on new recordings as well that have been put on hold. Um, you know, everything else takes kind of like a back seat, and the focus is more on just getting by day. And
Totally.
and as you know, I mentioned I'm a mother because that's really like the majority of my day is consumed
Hmm.
in that. But also, you know, I went through, when I had my son, I went through, you know, some postpartum anxiety. And I know that this period as well is a moment that can be very difficult for a lot of people also who are dealing with mental health issues or, you know, any addictions and things like that. It's just, it's really a tough time. So
That it
I
is.
try my motto or motive is trying to stay positive, you know, through these times. And
That's a good motive, a good mantra to
yeah,
have, especially. I appreciate that, and it's a good thing you mentioned that because people are out there, and we have to be there for everyone as much as we can. And your music is really a source
yes,
that you can share. It's a gift that you could share with the world. I want you to share a little bit more about the jazz night that you do when the world gets back to, you know, previously scheduled programming.
yes,
Tell me more about what happens on those jazz nights and where and when people can find you.
right. Well, I work at in Port Washington in Long Island. There is a restaurant that offers live music on Tuesdays and Saturdays called Ahan's Mediterranean Cafe. And we have artists that come in, even Tony Award winners that perform as well with us there. And it's just a beautiful community here in Long Island. I'm also very thankful for the work that I get in the city, as well as I had mentioned, you know, Joe's Pub, Rockwood Music Hall, lots of venues in the city that I'm looking forward to getting back to performing at and connecting with everyone, you know, and somehow healing through music.
Great. What would you like to start your performance with tonight?
I'm going to start with a cover, um, which I think is a perfect start given the situation that we're in. This is a song that was written um, during the period of the civil rights by Paul McCartney, and it talks about how we are able to find our freedom or find light at the end of the tunnel, even through difficult times. So I'll be singing for you all a cappella today because I don't have my band with me. So thank you very much, and here we are. And if you know it, please sing along. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. And fly, blackbird fly, blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to rise. Ah, ah, ah. You were only waiting for this moment to rise. Blackbird by the
Yeah.
Beatles, written
Awesome.
by Paul McCartney. Thank you.
What a moving rendition. And we have a lot of love coming your way. And
Thank you. Thank you so
Tana
much.
Hermosa, and very beautiful. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
sharing.
Shirley.
So getting a lot of love. I want to sort of ask you a few questions that are coming in for you.
Yes.
A couple questions. One wants to know, do you take vocal students? Do you teach vocal lessons? People are very mesmerized by your voice.
Oh, thank you very much. I am open to it. I feel that I still have to learn myself, but they say that the best way of mastering a craft is by teaching it, right? So I do teach a program at schools here in Long Island that's called Canta Conmigo. And it is a program that offers Spanish language through music. So that is more or less what I do as far as teaching elementary kids.
Gotcha. And we were talking. There's your website, of course,
Yes.
and the school programs. Looks like the offerings you're mentioning. Very, very important music education.
Yes.
Talk to me about your education, because we were talking in soundcheck about your heritage. How
Yes.
did having a mixed heritage, Dominican and Puerto Rican, how did that affect your artistry? How did that shape your artistry growing up?
Yes. Well, growing up, I always loved singing. And at home, we listened to a lot of boleros, salsa. Salsa is in my blood. It's like merengue, a little bit of bachata, not so much at home. But more than anything, my mom loved listening to a lot of boleros. And when I started singing, I started in the choir in middle school, and then in college, I did studied political science actually as my major, and I minored in music and jazz performance. And it's interesting because I was always drawn to singers with darker tones and colors, like Carmen McRae, like Sarah Vaughan, Nina Simone. Those are my biggest influences. And within my study there at Hunter College, sometimes a teacher would assign us a specific song to study. So, the Latin jazz tunes were always the ones that were assigned to me. So I enveloped myself in all of the Jobim songbook as well, and Latin classics like songs by Celia Cruz, and uh, and boleros as well, which in a way incorporated themselves into the jazz world as well. And as time went on, I realized that there was more of a connection for me when I sang music from music that had Latin or Afro Latin influences, and I felt that that was what was most authentic for me, and the path that I should follow. Motherhood also played a big role in that for me, because when I had my kids, I kind of went into a period of I pulled away from music for a little while just to focus on family life, on being a mother. And in that process, I was trying to think of, what will I leave my children? Where do I come from? And going back to my roots and trying to reconnect with that. And during that whole process, like for instance, my second pregnancy, I just kept saying to myself, I really want to go back to the Dominican Republic, where I used to spend my summers. My mom used to have us, me and my brother, go to the Dominican Republic to spend our summers there with our grandparents. And I have such fond memories of there. Some memories of Puerto Rico as well, but more towards the Dominican Republic. And so, as a process towards this album that I released called Black, which is available on Spotify, I went into that a little bit more further. I said I went on a trip with my mother and my children, and it was just very eye opening. I felt very connected to my roots there, visiting the places that I used to visit with my grandparents, and connecting with the music, doing a little bit of research as well into the music that, how could I say, there are lots of different influences in the Afro Latin rhythms that we hear in the Dominican Republic that people don't talk enough about. So that was also a bit of the process in rediscovering myself, in getting back to my roots for this album.
Awesome. Well, we love to hear another one.
Okay, great. Let's see. So, um, let's
Cool.
do.
And while, yeah, I like the
Yes.
cover too. We'll talk about the cover. Nona
Yeah, sure.
Brown says, dope cover. Well, I agree with you. And what's cool about hopefully this show, everyone, as I said at the top, everyone has their own tech setup. So we appreciate you, Jessica, for being your own tech as well. I know it's a different part of the brain,
Yes.
but thanks for doing that.
Yes, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, this next one that I'm going to sing is actually, it's a song that I feel is completely appropriate to what we're going through right now. It's a song that I wrote together with Jeremiah Abia, which is someone that I deeply admire, vocal extraordinaire and producer as well. And the song is called Hope. So perfect for these times.
Esperanza.
It's definitely what we need in these days, to focus on the positive and know that we're going to get through this. And thank you once again for your patience while I set up the audio.
All good. All
All
good.
right, here we go. Don't you remember not long ago, bathing in the beauty of life, and so shadows would bloom, but how could we know? We were enchanted with joy that shows it never runs, just simply waits for us to remember. Hope is here to stay. Never a stranger, just taking turns, finding solutions with no returns. Naive in the daylight, show what is real. Come wanting answers, measure what one feels. It never runs, just simply waits for us to remember. Hope is here to stay. El amor no se va, nunca se acaba. Lo que está para ti, nadie te lo quita. Now we have a little solo during this part of the song by John Benitez. So check it out online. It never runs, just simply waits for us to remember. Our love is here to stay. Nadie te lo quita. And that was Hope.
I'm full of it now, full of hope. What an inspiring
La
and
fe, la
inspired
esperanza.
performance.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
Lord have mercy, such a gorgeous instrument, says
Thank
Donna.
you, Donna. Thank you so much. I am
Yeah,
so happy to be here. I want to say thank you to Kabir for organizing this and for this beautiful initiative because it's definitely, I really feel that music is a beautiful way of healing and getting our minds off of what's happening out there. I know it's very difficult to watch the news and to see what's going on. That's also why I try to just watch like once a day, just like a summary of what's happened,
make it short and yeah,
make it
exactly.
short, just
Get to
stay
digest.
informed.
Yeah,
But
well,
but
my pleasure,
thank
and
you.
of course, it's what a pleasure to have you. I want to talk a little bit more about your album. Let's put it back up on the screen. Talk to me about the song selection, how you went about picking what songs to include on the record, because I know it's always sort of a difficult decision. Or
Yes.
sometimes it just flows. So walk me through some of the songs here. I want people to get a flavor for what they can. And if
Okay.
you're watching at home, check out jessicamedina.com and go to her Spotify page, stream it. You're going to fall in love with it. You already are falling in love with her music, but you'll be able to hear the whole tracks, the whole musical experience on the record. So go support her on Spotify. So tell me about the song selection.
So the idea of this album came about during the pregnancy of my son, which was about 4 years ago. As you can imagine, what was happening 4 years ago politically in the United States, it was a challenging time for a lot of us who, especially, speak a different language or are immigrants or have immigrant parents. So, for me personally, I felt that I wanted to use my craft. I wanted to use that platform to showcase something other than hatred, something other than, um, trying to keep people, pull people apart, whether it's with borders or, you know, all the things. I don't want to get too political, but you can imagine.
You're
So,
speaking my language, but yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
exactly. So within that period, I've been doing a lot of volunteer work with different community groups that help immigrant families as well. And so as I was putting together the ideas for this album, I started writing some music, and I said, you know what? These are dark times for us. And what I want to offer everyone is a message that says that even though there are dark times, there's always a way out. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. And so that's how I went about picking some of the songs on the album. For example, there is a theme there that talks about either discrimination or finding light, or, for instance, Blackbird, which we did just a few minutes ago, is a song that was written during the civil rights movement as well. Lamento Esclavo is a song that was made famous by Eduardo Brito in the Dominican Republic. And it's a song that talks about slavery. And that the message in that song is that even though the interpreter, the people that are going through this period, are in chains, they still find joy or their own happiness in some way or another. And they say, well, you know what? I know one day we will be free. Perdón is a song that I wrote about forgiveness. And it's a very personal story. My parents divorced when I was very young. And it was through being able to recognize on my own that forgiveness was actually a gift for myself that I owed myself. And by forgiving, I was able to be more loving and free, and offer a brand new relationship with my dad and for my children as well. And I felt it was such a it was eye opening for me. Forgiveness in that context, and I wanted to share that with the world because I know that a lot of people, they grow through these grudges for many years and things like that. They don't speak to family members, and life is so short. So again, the message throughout is really, I'm trying to tell people, there are more uplifting ways to look at the world, and there is more power in unity
Totally.
than
And
there is
and
in,
one of the uplifting ways of looking through the world, obviously,
yes,
is through music and through your music especially, because it's
yes.
such a radiant and vibrant production that you've put together. You really have a gift and a knack. It was a first class production. I listened through it
Thank you so
again
much.
yesterday. So just a beautiful, beautiful project. Everyone check it out. What would you like to play or perform for us next?
Okay, so next, I would like to do, I'll do, oh, first of all, I want to see how many parents do we have here watching or listening in on live?
I'm sure there's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot. We want to hear some good music.
Yes. This next song is a song that came about very naturally. I was trying to write some music, and my son kept coming over and saying, "Mommy, Mommy, I need this. Mommy, get me this." Because you know how it is. Whenever you're busy, that's when they, all of a sudden, it's like they need your attention. So I was just like, I need a break. Like, mommy needs time, leave me alone or whatever it was that I said in that moment. And, so I just said, okay, I just started improvising and I just, kind of did like a scat, you know, vocalese kind of thing that just came out like naturally. I wrote it down really right away. Um, Thank you. And then I said, oh my God, you know what? I'm gonna put this together, this song. And we weren't sure if we were gonna keep this song for the album. And actually, it's so interesting because it's a song that everyone always asks for whenever I do a live show, and a lot of people can identify to it. And the song basically says, I'm tired, which all parents can relate to. The title of the song is, this is a song in Spanish, and it's called Sueño te extraño, which means dream, I miss you, because we all know that once you're a parent, you don't get to sleep much. So here is Sueño te extraño, and this is in a cha-cha feel. You guys should definitely check it out because without the rhythm, it really makes for here we go. So to all the moms out there, 5 de la mañana, no ha subido el sol, ya yo escucho el llanto, mami, aquí estoy, ya no puedo ni dormir, ni un cafecito servir. Pero así es la vida, todos los días yo me canso, todos los días yo me canso, yo me canso, todos los días yo me canso. Dándole el almuerzo, there he is, lo tira por tu lado, la pared es un tollo, los platos amontonados, y ahora para bañarlo, desnudo corre sin fin. Di un vistazo al espejo, ni la sombra de lo que fui. Yo me canso, todos los días yo me canso. Yo me canso, Eso. Ser madre no es lo que te pinta la tele, pero por ser madre no he dejado de ser mujer. Oye, mamá, no te quede atrás. No abandone tu sueño. Mira, llena, llena tu copa ya. Llena, llena, llena tu copa ya. Llena, llena, llena tu copa ya, my darling. Sweet baby, I love you. But mommy, yes, mommy, just wants to sleep. Mi dulce cariño, amorcito, te quiero, pero mami quiere dormir. And there you have it.
Bravo. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That was beautiful. We're getting a lot of love all over social media from you. One question, someone was looking into your discography. They say, love this record. They also love your first record,
Yes.
Azul. Tell us about Azul real
Oh,
quick.
thank you. Thank you. Azul was my first album. And it was a little bit after I had finished in college. It's something that I put together with some classmates, my classmates there, and mostly Latin jazz standards. One or two original pieces in there. And I also had a special guest, Claudio Roditi, who passed away a couple of months ago. He was amazing, an amazing flugelhornist and trumpet player. And this was exciting for me. This first album was 2007. And it was great. I was able to tour. We did a tour in Asia with Hennessy XO. And so we were in Shanghai, in Taipei. We went to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Also went to Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, Lima as well. Yes, and so it's a little bit different from, as time goes by, we age and we grow and we learn certain things and we kind of take different direction and so forth.
Awesome.
So, yes.
Yeah, it's a
Thank
great
you.
song, a great album too. I like the title track especially.
Yes, thank you.
Um,
Azul.
yeah. Well, we love to hear one final one.
Yes, perfect. So the last song that I will be singing for you guys will be Back to Black, which is a single that I put out last year, and it's a tribute to Amy Winehouse. This is a song that we did with a Latin flavor, and the rhythms are Afro-Peruvian. I have a lot of Peruvian friends, and for a while I performed a bit at Tutuma Social Club. I don't know if you New Yorkers
Yeah,
know
I
of
know
that
Tutuma.
place.
Like 53rd and 3rd or something like that.
Yes,
It was,
it
and you
was.
walk downstairs.
That's right.
I
That's right.
love
It was
that
such a
place.
beautiful place there with Gabriel and Yuri and
Yeah.
amazing, amazing musicians and friends that I met there.
Nice
So
pisco sour.
yes, exactly. So such good memories of Tutuma. And so out of that, I fell in love with Afro-Peruvian music as well. And I've kind of embraced it as part of my repertoire as well. And so this version of Back to Black has the rhythm of festejo in there with the beautiful sounds of the cajon and also la quija, which is the jaw that they use that has that rattling noise. So definitely check it out when you guys have a chance. It was a lot of fun making this album and this track. So here we go. And I added a little bit of Spanish to the end. My own little twist. Here we go. He left no time to regret, kept his thing wet with his same old self bed. Me and my head high and my tears dry went on without my guide. You went back to what you knew, so far removed from all that we went through. And I tread a troubled track, my odds are stacked. I go back to black. We only said goodbye with words. I died 100 times. You go back to her and I go back to us. I love you so much, it's not enough. You love her and I love us. And life is like a pipe, and I'm a tiny penny rolling all the walls inside. We only said goodbye with words. I died 100 times. You go back to her and I go back to us. Black, black. We only said goodbye with words. I died 100 times. You go back to her and I go back to. Sola me dejaste ayer, te fuiste sin volver, sin razón porque mil mentiras. Black, 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 black. And there you have it. That was Back
Awesome.
to Black, tribute to Amy Winehouse. Al estilo de festejo. I love it.
Awesome.
Gracias. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Merci.
Yeah. Thank you so much for and
Thank
boom.
you.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Check out Jessica's website, jessicamedina.com at the bottom. Thank you. And also check her out on Spotify. Her first album, Azul, and her follow-up. It's just beautiful, beautiful music. And when the world resumes, you've got to see her perform live. You really got to make it, if it's at Joe's Pub, wherever it is make sure you put it on your calendar and you get there in person, and you'll be mesmerized in person. So thanks, Jessica, for being on the show.
Thank
A real
you.
treat. And with that, I want to also give a final shout out to the sound and tech team. This is the incredible dynamic duo of Sandra and Camilo.
Yes.
And you can check out their website at, let's put it up on the screen. Oh, there you go, soundworksrecording.com. And they have a discount named after their two dogs, Oreo and Maui. Woof woof. So if you mention it, they will say aloha to the discount. And the sky is really the limit. I've worked with them for over a month. I think this is show number 37, which we've done in 26 days. So we've been at it. And if you're an engineer, an artist, hit them up, and I'm sure they'll get you everything that you need and more. All right. And with that, we want to thank everyone for joining tonight. We have a very special broadcast tomorrow. Maddie Poppy will be joining us. She won American Idol, I think last year. So it's going to be cool. We're going to have some songs. She'll be featuring some songs of herself, and I can't wait for that one tomorrow. So stay safe, stay warm, stay happy, stay home, and peace and blessings. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Besos. Cuídense.